Okay. So I think it's on.
We might be live.
I think we might be live. So hey everybody, welcome to this. Welcome back. I guess this is our season 2
to the Random Tan.
To the Random Tan and to the Random Tan experience, and we are back for season 2.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So I hope all you guys had a good time this summer. I'm just going to try something. So
we are experiencing a learning curve here.
Yeah, and and change is good and everything. And this is all about growth.
And it's always fun to watch other people learning stuff and making mistakes. So you get to watch us as we figure out this new thing here.
Yeah. So so YouTube has decided to change the way that they do these live streams. So we're learning all this new software and stuff. Hopefully it's working, and hopefully because we're supposed to be able to see this preview screen, and it's not there. So
it's not there.
So I'm hoping that
we might just be talking to ourselves.
That's okay, but most of the time it feels like we're talking to ourselves. Okay, so
anyway, we are Jeff
and Liz,
and we are parents of 9
and work from home entrepreneurs. I have to stop saying full-time work from home entrepreneurs because it's kind of a little bit misleading. But we are work from home entrepreneurs
and homeschoolers.
And we have all sorts of really cool adventures. Yeah, that we talk about on this show. So, if this is the first time that you're tuning in, welcome to the ride.
Welcome to our home and our library.
Yeah. Anyway, so what did we do this summer? So tonight we're actually going to be talking about catching up on some of the things that we did this summer. We're also going to talk about what camping was like after we...
Again, that's summer.
That's summer, yeah. Right? Yeah. Some of our adventures and basically what we did this summer.
Pretty much.
I think so. Yeah. Okay, good. So what are we going to start with first? Camping?
So let's start with camping.
Okay. So first of all...
A little history.
So Liz and I were avid campers. I was an avid camper before Liz
Jeff was an avid camper.
Yeah.
And he introduced me to camping.
And, I was really into, ultra lightweight interior camping.
And you would, portage in with the canoe, and then portage out, whatever you pack in, you pack out.
Right, which was, a lot of fun.
Stuff.
And
we never did that together in the winter, just so you know.
No, I used to do that. I used to camp.
Never done the winter.
Yeah, I used to camp in the winter.
Thing.
So
that's beyond me.
but I used to camp in the winter, and it's lots of fun. It's actually warmer at night in the wintertime, winter camping. And I know that's, kind of hard to get your head around it. But when you understand, like, the insulating properties of snow, then, anyway, you get it. But, yeah, so we haven't been camping in 9 years. So,
we realized that 5 out of our 9 kids had never actually been fully camping. They had stayed in a tent in the backyard. They had done campfire stuff in other people's backyards. But we'd never actually fully
I would even say 6, because when Kira was, the last time we were camping with Kira, she
was less than 1.
Yeah, so she really didn't remember, right? So 6 out of our 9 kids hadn't really been camping, exactly, in a way that they remember. So, so anyway, we decided that this summer we had to fix that. Anyway, so what we did was we took,
We took them all camping.
Yeah, we took them all camping.
And it took, I think we had 4 tents. And we just went to a provincial park. For those of you not from Ontario, Ontario has a really great system of provincial parks where they have individual campsites that are fairly well treed, so you don't have too much interaction with neighbors. You can have electric sites or radio-free sites or pet sites or all different kinds of sites. And a lot of the provincial parks have different learning experiences built in, so they'll have activity centers and discovery centers. Some of them have really good beaches, and and they all have, your campfire pit and
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. So
And most of them have showers.
yeah, and so the campsite that we went to is Awenda. It's just about an hour away, and we went and packed up all of our stuff. I spent the week sort of trying to prepare everything that we could. I have to be honest, this is kind of really freaking me out that I can't really see. Like, I've refreshed this preview screen and everything, a couple of times, and it's still saying that the live stream is supposed to be starting soon. So I don't know.
High CPU usage detected.
Yeah.
You may be experiencing performance issues.
Yeah, no, but I don't think it's like that because I tested it, earlier this afternoon.
And it was working up there?
Yeah, and it worked up there too. So I don't know, really. So I don't know if I put the wrong URL in or whatever. Anyway, so we'll find out.
Either way, it's probably still recording, right?
Probably. Well, something is recording.
So
I think.
So we could post it after.
And see.
And see what happens.
Hopefully. Anyway, hopefully it's recording. See, this is the thing about using new software.
Yes.
So I'm going to...
Particularly unexpectedly.
Yeah. So, I only found that out today. So, anyway.
It's random.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, hey, Teresa, how are you? Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So I know one of you guys are out there, and okay, so hey, Teresa. So good to hear from you. All right, so yeah, you can. So obviously it's working.
So we are working. Okay,
perfect.
Good. So we went camping, and we went far enough away that it felt like a trip, but not too far, so that we actually had like the long, arduous journey to get there.
Which was, was really cool.
It was a nice, happy medium.
And after getting all of our gear ready and up, how did we describe it? We ended up packing like newbies.
Yes, but with enough experience to make that work.
So one of the things that kind of it drove me crazy because I have 200 yards of rope somewhere.
Yes,
I have rope. Like
we have a lot of rope.
And
Jeff spends time, having ropes of various lengths, of various diameters, whipping the ends,
and coating them and everything. Like, so I have
ready to go.
And they're supposed to be in a bag somewhere, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Couldn't find it anywhere. So we were minus some of the amount of rope. But I did bring some rope, and we were able to. But when you're camping, you can never have enough rope. When you're camping, you can never have enough rope. Okay, so
or tarps.
So to describe the trip, the weather was beautiful. It was actually a perfect trip. Like it was an awesome trip. So let me just say that right from the beginning.
And some people might assume that means the weather was great the whole time,
but it was not. We went. So it was beautiful the first day. We got up there. It was super hot.
Set up. We went to the beach.
We went to the beach and and
had fun in the sand.
Exactly, and
played in the water.
And it was awesome. And then while we were at the beach, I could see these dark clouds start rolling in off Georgian Bay, and I was thinking, you know what, we probably should get back to the camp and
maybe put up a tarp.
So we started putting up the tarp just as it started to rain, but it wasn't like raining hard. It was just kind of gently, gentle, steady coming down.
Yeah.
And so we put up the tarp.
Yeah.
Got it up. That's when we figured out we could have used a lot more rope than we had. But luckily on the, as an afterthought, I grabbed a couple of what do you call them? Tie-down straps. That's it. Tie-down straps. Car tie-down straps that I got from the dollar store, and I threw them in with all the gear too. So with those and with the rope that we had, we were able to put up a tarp, over the
in a decent configuration.
Yeah,
over the picnic table and campfire area. Yeah.
Because the next day
we woke up.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night at one point to the sound of thunder and lots of heavy rain.
And it was pouring.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pouring. And
it stayed.
Yeah.
All day.
Pouring.
And the camp was having a fire ban.
Oh, right.
Because it had been such a dry summer. So no fires were allowed.
Yeah, we couldn't have a fire
between
7
7
and
and
10
10
p.m. Right? Now, when you think about that and you hear that, you think, oh man, like how could this have been a great trip? But it really was a great trip because
Jeff has. We have this saying that it's not a real camping trip unless it rains.
And it really was raining.
Because it tests your campcraft.
Exactly.
Right? This is the test of how good a camper you are.
So we tied up all, we tightened up all of the lines on the tarp.
Yeah.
We'd brought an awning, which was actually kind of cool. That was a bit of an adventure, opening up that awning.
Yes, it was an adventure.
Yeah, so I kept this awning outside at the side of the house over the winter, and apparently we had some
small gray.
Well, Stuart Little's cousins decided that they wanted to spend the winter in the in this tarp, and
some of them didn't make it out alive.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They really didn't, because when they opened this tarp up, out came Stuart Little's cousins. Anyway, so that was that made for some interesting noise around the campsite. Anyway, so we got that up, put that up over. We put it underneath the tarp, so that kind of helped things go, and the kids invented this game. So I had this little shovel. I've had it forever. It's a little pack shovel.
Clips apart.
The
blade of it clips apart with the handle.
And sometime during the day,
this long when it's fully put together.
Yeah, so
it's just a little hand shovel.
And I always bring it on every camping trip. You always make sure that you have a little tiny shovel, because you need to be able to dig trenches. So when
you might need to build a moat.
Yeah, you did, because when the rain was coming and pouring down and everything, the kids were digging trenches. One thing that I forgot. So here's what happens when you don't go camping for 9 years: is you forget how to assess a campsite and where to put your tent.
Yes.
Because one of the places that we put the tent, we happened to put the tent in a really nice, beautiful location, which happened to be at the lowest point of the campsite,
of the ground,
which is not necessarily the best place.
Not ideal when there's rain.
No, it's not, because water goes downhill.
It does.
It really goes downhill.
So we ended up relocating a tent partway through our camping trip.
Yep.
Yeah. And
but I want to talk about this game.
After building the moat around it, and then the moat overflowed.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the game.
So at some point during the day, Raphael saw me throw the shovel into the dirt, and it stuck in the dirt. Standing up. Yeah. So, he thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So he started taking the shovel, and actually all the kids tried doing the shovel, and none of them got it, but he got it on his first try. So, which was super cool. So that started this whole entire day of
boys being competitive as they are.
Well, Kira was in there too.
Kira's and Aileen.
And Aileen, so they were all in there too. So, boys and girls are equally competitive, right? So
yes.
So they spent the day trying to throw this shovel into the dirt.
And then they embellished that so that once they were all proficient at throwing it and letting it stand
up,
how
many flips they could do.
Then it was how many times they could flip it through the air, and then it was put a corn cob, because we had corn on the cob, and see if they could slice a cob of corn with the landing of the shovel.
Yeah, that was really cool too. So what are the life lessons, that we kind of want to pass on from this? Well,
always carry rope.
Always carry rope. And embrace every experience.
Yes.
Right?
Because while that day, it actually ended up stopping raining at about 4:00 in the afternoon, I guess it was.
And then the next day when we were leaving, it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day.
And while that day we didn't end up doing anything that we had planned, it actually ended up being a great time, because we were all just sort of forced to stay in close quarters with no electronics and no distractions other than interacting with each other and working together.
Yeah, and it was just interesting. Like we couldn't have a fire, so we improvised. So I put the camp stove, the big green box,
Coleman.
the Coleman big green box that I've had
Yep.
for years, and foolproof box. I just put it on the fire pit and turned it up, and
Yeah,
put
with
like
a
some
little
foil.
tin foil thing to reflect the heat.
Yep. And I mean that's a trick I learned in back when I was in Boy Scouts. So
Winter camping.
So so all of these little things that came back. So it was really, really cool, awesome experience.
Yes,
in
that
the
was
summer.
a really good trip.
You know what? I was thinking too, like the week before that. I just wanted to shout out because I know that Jeanette in Ireland
Yes.
came to visit too, and we hadn't seen her in 17 years. So she's probably going to watch this episode at some point, and so I just wanted to shout out to Jeanette way over in Ireland. So it was awesome to see you and the girls, and we really hope to see you guys again soon.
Yes.
Okay. So the next time you're in town. All right. So we got a question over the summer in our email, random10@gmail.com, and asking about behavior at the dinner table. And it's something that I've mentioned to other friends before, but where you seat your kids at the dinner table is
Has an impact.
So just to let you know that this doesn't come from from out of thin air. It's actually taken from a course that I took when I was taking human resources courses one time when I didn't know what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Anyway, so when you have a table. When you have a table, the most influential positions at the table are at the head and the foot, and in the center of
each side.
Of each side, right? So the next time you're in a board meeting, and you want to have your voice heard. Now, this is whether you want to, in parent council or in a board meeting at work or whatever. Get there a little early and make sure that you position yourself. Now, usually the heads of the company will sit themselves at either end at the head of the table. So position yourself so that you're as close to the middle of the table as you can be, and you'd be interested and you'd be surprised to find that how much more your voice is heard during these meetings. But how does that apply to the dinner table, right? Well, when you have your kids, I've known people to sit their kids at the heads, like at the foot of the table, because somewhere else at the table, was just easier to get to the stove or easier to bring the plates and bring the things. And, and as a result, they found that, just general discipline at the table, it was kind of a little bit challenging, right? So one of the things that we've always done is make sure that we sit at the foot, like at the head and the foot of the table.
And at our current table, the configuration we have two people sitting at each end. So Jeff and I sit side by side at the head, and
then we have our oldest, at the other end.
Yeah.
And what we've done in the past is have our two oldest in the middle so that they can also, sort of navigate, around with the, around with the kids. So, and then if you have your really, let's say outgoing, I don't want to say challenging, but, the ones with great leadership skills, great leadership potential. Okay, the ones with the great leadership potential, if you put them at the corner, right? If you seat them more at closer to the corner, you'll find that they'll still have demonstrate that good
natural
leadership potential, but their impact will be a little bit lessened.
Yes.
Right. So anyway, that's a little tip to to try out. If you find that if you're just kind of wondering, especially if you have young kids and everything. I shouldn't say like young kids, but more kind of like that middle range kid, like the 3, 4, 5. So when you've got your
they're
kids
really coming into their voice
and able to be independent, at a certain point, they're able to do things for themselves. So for example, one of the benchmarks that we have for starting chores, when you're grade 2, first communion age, once you've done your first communion, then you can start cooking rice, and you cook rice for the family, right? So because we have a rice cooker and it's super easy, but yeah, they right now it rotates. I think we talked about this on another. Yeah. But anyway, so once they're able to do chores like that and serve themselves, then you can, start strategically putting them in different places in the table. Awesome. All right. So
what else did we do in the summer?
We did a lot. You know what? It's funny because at the end of June, we knew July was going to be pretty busy, but then all of a sudden
halfway through July, the August calendar was empty.
And
then within a few days, all of a sudden it just exploded and it was completely full.
Right. So we went camping. Yeah. We also did our week at Cana Colony. So Cana Colony, which we've mentioned before, is an annual family retreat that we go on. It's in Combermere, Ontario. Yeah. And actually, speaking of that, I wanted to shout out this year, while we were there, I picked up this awesome maple syrup.
It's all gone now.
It's all gone now. You can see, but I saved the bottle because I wanted. Oops, whoa. What is going on there? Okay, good. So the screen went blank, but okay. See, technical things. Anyway, so this maple syrup came from a place called Spring to Life Farm at Rockingham, Ontario, which is a little bit outside of Combermere, close to Wilno. Actually, I think it is, and. We have
friends of friends who live in Wilno.
Yeah, that's right. So
who we've yet to meet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this farm is owned by Alex and Rainey, and they have a really cute little baby. And Rainey was just
organic farm.
And an organic farm and an organic maple syrup farm. So if you're ever that way, go check them out. Spring to Life Farm, springtolifefarm.ca is their website. It was awesome maple syrup, and so I just wanted to shout out. We also wanted to shout out to our friends at Awesome Blossom Organics. So we've made it a tradition every year to Labor Day weekend.
So Italian,
right? We make tomato sauce, right? Tomato sauce. Okay, so it's just natural, right? It's natural for this, the random because it's random. It's random, and
there's no Italian in us at all.
So we even have like the tomato machine. Like we even have like the motorized tomato machine, right?
Which we learned through trial and error. Because when we first, embarked on this as like a regular thing,
we kept asking for a food mill.
We went shopping and we were asking for a food mill because that's what I thought it might be called because I had seen it called a food mill. And it's got a hopper and you crank the thing. And
we went to like 5 stores in Woodbridge, Ontario,
which is high Italian population. And finally, when I explained to one of them what I wanted with a food mill, he's like, "Oh, you want a tomato machine?" I'm like, "Oh,
a tomato machine."
Tomato machine.
We even have one, right?
Have said that
and and our big, huge, our big stock pot. So, Awesome Blossom Organics is where we got our tomatoes this year. Yeah. They are on Airport Road.
Yeah.
In Caledon, and super cool story about Awesome Blossom Organics. So they actually live right across the street from us. But if you saw in the Random Tan Experience group, so hashtag Random Tan Experience, was in the Facebook group. If you're following that, you saw a little bit of the story. So our friends that own Awesome Blossom Organics. Mario makes it a point to reserve some of his crop and donates it to Ronald McDonald House. And
for their Home for Dinner program. And really cool thing we just found out this year. And good friends of ours, Tom and Marilyn, and their daughter, some of you might already know their story, but they had their daughter Stephanie was going through cancer treatment. And so Tom and Marilyn were residents of Ronald McDonald House on occasion over that year and a half where they were really going through the intense treatment, which she is now thankfully in remission. So just in case you're wondering how that part of the story goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was really cool was while they were there and taking part in the Home for Dinner program, some of the food that they were eating was actually grown by our good friend, like by Mario's hand. So it was just amazing. Like, it was just really amazing how, all of these things, and they...
And neither one knew.
Yeah, they had no idea, right? They had no idea.
To Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah, so I thought it was really cool. So anyway, so Awesome Blossom Organics. And and so we did all of our tomatoes this year, 10 bushels of tomatoes, big, huge party.
Had a bunch of people come over, and everybody, who wants to bring home tomato sauce brings their own jars. And
it's really growing, actually. So maybe next year we'll make it even, it was really, really cool. But
we might need to get a bigger machine.
We might be, I think we're going to get a bigger machine. But our theme for homeschooling this year is sort of just kind of segueing that, because that happens at the end of summer. But our theme for homeschooling this year is growing things, so agriculture and growing things. And I just wanted to show. So this is Raphael's bean. His like bean, like it was a tiny little thing. You put it in that styrofoam cup, and it's amazing what a difference organic beans make, because I've never seen
a bean sprout like this well before.
Yeah, so right now we're actually looking for the next thing that we're going to pot it in, because we want to try to grow it in the winter. So hopefully
we actually didn't really expect, because we've done this bean sprouting thing with kids before, and they get that big, and then they don't necessarily transplant well,
but so these ones are really transplanted.
We did start this in September,
so
thinking that it wasn't really going to work, but it's actually growing. So now we have to.
So we're gonna
pot it.
Yeah.
Because we can't plant it outside because it'll die.
Yeah. So anyway.
So it wasn't necessarily.
It's all about learning.
The best planned lesson, but it's all about the learning process.
Yeah. It's all about.
Because when the 6-year-old says, "Mommy, can we plant the bean?" You say, "Sure, buddy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And little did we know that it was maybe he has
actually gonna
take off like that.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So we are coming up to the top of the hour.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
that
cool.
Went pretty fast.
It really did.
I don't think we got through.
We got through most of the stuff.
We got through a lot of it.
Yeah, we got through a lot of the stuff.
We didn't get through half of our summer.
No, we didn't.
We can talk more about our summer on another. And shout out to all the other people that we connected with.
Yeah, that's cool.
Summer.
Yeah, and so what do you guys want to know, right? So, I'll probably post our email in the comments below, or in the description below. Yep. But email us at randomtanexperience@gmail.com. And if you're not already following us in our Facebook group, just hashtag randomtanexperience. And
just request to join.
And we'll see you guys next week. Next Wednesday for episode 2 of season 2. Yay. Okay, cool.
Have a great night, everybody.
Talk to you later.
I think we're still live.
We are still live. I don't know how to turn this thing off. We're supposed to click it again or something like that. You're gonna keep watching us until we figure out how to turn this thing off.
Maybe.
Oh, I know how it is, I think.